Welcome to T&M Magic Hour.
Hi, I'm Tisha.
Hi, and I'm Michelle.
And welcome back to our podcast where we talk everything Disney, Universal, and travel. So let's get into it.
So thank you for coming back and joining us for episode 2. Hopefully we didn't bore you too much in the last episode, so you are back here listening to us again. So obviously in episode 1, it was a bit more of an introduction episode, just talking about what brought us to Disney and to Universal and Orlando in general, and just kind of how our love for that has grown. And we did kind of touch on Tish's upcoming trip as well, which she is now freshly back from. I'm quite tired.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will be talking a bit more about that in later on in the episode. So the main kind of part of this episode is just to talk about our Disney versus Universal, which we touched on last time in our kind of would you rather question, which we did ask for some input on. And actually we did have a couple of bits of feedback on that. And I think in general, the feeling was kind of more leaning towards Disney than Universal, but we'll see where we get to by the end of this episode. And also there was a trivia question, if everyone can remember, from the last episode as well. So has everybody got their answers to that trivia question, which was the second Disney World park to open? And it was obviously Epcot, and there was some bonus points if anyone could tell me what year that was, and it was actually 1982. So well done to anybody who got that question right. Before we get into the main topic of our episode this week, we just thought we would start every episode with something called the Magic Minute, which is just going to be some topical bits of quick news from Orlando from the past week. So the sort of bits of news we've got from this week are Epic Universe celebrated its first birthday, and I think Tish, you're going to kind of talk a little bit more about Epic a bit later on in the episode, because actually it's a park that we have yet to visit. So so it'd be interesting on your views on what you thought of Epic this time around. And Smuggler's Run as well at Disney, over at Disney for this week has got a major update. So there's new Mandalorian and Grogu scenes in the new ride as well, which I'm quite excited about going to see in August too. But that's not a ride that you didn't manage to get on this time, did you?
No, not at all. The wait time was way too long, and I was like, I'm tired of standing in queues.
Absolutely. No, the wait time on that ride can get ridiculous.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, so I'm hoping in August it's not quite so bad.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then obviously the big Universal news for us UK kind of people is that the UK theme park plans have been announced, and I think they've broken ground over there as well. So that's all quite exciting. I think that's planning to open in 2031.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how that changes the landscape of theme parks in the UK, because they are not quite the same level, are they, as
Yeah, I mean, I've never been Alton Towers, but I have been Thorpe Park, and Thorpe Park is just, there's no theming to it, it's just roller coasters. If that's pretty much what it is. And then you've got Alton Towers, and I don't think, if I'm correct, I mean, I've never been, but I feel like that might not have a lot of theming. So this will be kind of interesting to see what rides they will put in and the themes that they would do, and if it's going to compare anything to what Universal Studios in Orlando or Hollywood would even have. And I haven't been to the one in Hollywood, but I've seen their pictures and videos, and I've seen that they're quite up here in terms of theming, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, Alton Towers, actually, if you've never been, is, in my opinion, one of the nicer parks in the UK, because it's very green. So I find Thorpe Park, Chessington, very concrete. I don't know what your opinion is, but there's not a lot of, it's quite concrete. Whereas I find Alton Towers very green. It's got the lovely, the old build, like the house there and the manor and all that sort of stuff. So it's a nice place to wander around. But yeah, there's very much an emphasis on the rides, not so much on the theming. And the queue, right? Like the queues are horrible, aren't they?
Oh, what, in Alton Towers?
Well, in anywhere in the UK.
Oh, I suppose,
when you're standing in them, there's literally nothing to see, is there?
Yeah, so there's no theming and nothing to do in those queue rides.
No, absolutely. So, it'd be very interesting to see how Universal change that.
Hopefully it will change it for the better.
Absolutely.
Guys, so this next bit, we're going to do Disney versus Universal, and we're going to start off talking a bit about hotels, as this trip that I had just gone on, I didn't stay on property. I stayed off property on International Drive. However, I did do a one-night stay in Port Orleans French Quarters, simply for their beignets. But it was a great hotel, and it's the first time I've ever stayed on a Disney resort in Florida rather than where I've been to Paris and done two of their resorts, which are their but more budgety. I don't know what they call them. What do they call? Because there's moderate,
Value. They
that's it,
value.
value.
Yeah.
So I did their value resort, and I don't. I guess with Port Orleans, I don't know what that would that come under moderate? Because kind of like in between. I mean, for one night, it did hurt my pockets just a tad bit, just a tad bit. But I can be honest, it was just
Moderate.
on.
It's not a
It was
moderate price.
yeah, it was just under £400 for one night for me and mum to stay there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. I did love it. I love the theming of the hotel, and it does push me to want to go to New Orleans a little bit more now to see what it's truly like. But the hotels there, I mean, you've probably stayed on more Disney resort hotels than I have.
I think, yeah, we kind of got the bug. So the very first time that we went, we stayed
Yeah.
off site as well.
Okay.
And again, there's probably a whole different conversation to be had, isn't there, about on-site versus off-site, and not
Yeah.
just Disney and Universal. But there's some advantages to it. There were also some quite big disadvantages, in our opinion, and we didn't realise that until the second time we went. And we stayed at Pop Century.
Nice.
And we absolutely, and I think for me, this is one of the biggest pluses about being on Disney versus Universal, is the bubble that you're in. As soon as
Yeah.
you hit that Disney hotel, you're in the bubble, aren't you? You get the
Yeah.
service, the cast members are amazing. Yeah, you are in Disney, and
Yeah.
that for us was just such a game changer from that trip onwards, really. And so we've never actually stayed off site since. Yeah, so we did Pop Century the first time. We've stayed
Yeah.
at Riverside,
Nice.
Boardwalk on our last trip, and then on our August trip we are Grand Floridian and Old Key West.
Nice.
Yeah, so what we've done is we started off on a value
Worked
and
your way
travelled
up to a deluxe.
absolutely. Yeah, so once you spoil yourself, there's no going back. But yeah, I think for me, that because it's the bubble, but it's also the transport links
Yeah,
for Disney
absolutely.
are just incredible. I mean, like I say from your trip this time, you must have found that different between the two.
It was perfect. It did put me into a different perspective. Like I said, I stayed on International Drive. I can now say what hotel I've been to because I've been and gone. But I stayed in the Rosen Inn at Point Orlando, which is kind of right in the middle of between Universal and Disney. So from Disney, you're about a 15-20 minute, depending on that traffic once you hit. I don't know what they call it. They do call it a highway, freeway, because we call it a motorway here. So whatever road that is where there's everyone driving at a fast pace, that
Yeah.
there's traffic along that bit between International Drive and getting in that Disney bubble once you see those signs. And then from Universal, the good thing is that I guess the hotel that I was with is partnered with Universal, so there's a free shuttle.
Mhm.
So that takes you to any of the parks, whether it's Epic or Universal or wherever it may be. I think they do one, is it to Volcano Bays, their water park,
Yeah.
I want to say. But I definitely noticed the difference of staying in Port Orleans and just getting up and going straight to Epic, not Epic, Epcot. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is great. Like, there's no getting an Uber or anything like that. It's just, I'm already in that space. And I think that's probably influenced my next trip to Florida to actually now stay on resort and go back to a value and then work my way up through the rest. But I have visited some of the hotels. I did do the Broadwalk this trip. That
Yeah.
is a beautiful hotel. I was so shocked.
Oh, we loved the boardwalk. It was so lovely. And you know, the biggest plus for that resort, we loved the boardwalk anyway, and we'd visited
Yeah.
there before. It was actually Russell's, it was his bucket list stay. That's where he wanted to stay. But you can obviously walk to Epcot, which for us was amazing. So we get up in the morning and you
Yeah.
literally can just wander in and grab your breakfast. And it was also great for
Amazing.
fireworks at the
Yeah.
end, because you can just walk out. You don't have to get on transport, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But we didn't realise you can also walk to Hollywood Studios from there.
No way.
It's a really lovely walk from Hollywood Studios.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which is also, so you've got two parks that you
Yeah.
can literally walk to from there. So that is a game changer as well. Which I think, and again, when you're looking at hotels, location is quite important, depending on
Absolutely.
which parks you enjoy going to and all that sort
Yeah.
of what the plans are. Yeah, you can get some real good benefits from staying on site.
Yeah. It's a lovely hotel. I mean, it took me by surprise because it's not just a hotel if you think about it. It's almost like a little mini city because you've got the
Yeah.
shops all along it. And I just thought that was really nice. Like that, I like visiting these hotels. I mean, I visited the Grand Floridian way back in 2023. That was like one of the first kind of hotels that I ever went to visit. I haven't stayed there, but it was a really nice hotel in French Quarters. I stayed there, and I've also visited them numerous of times. I've never been to the other part. Is that Riverside? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we stayed. So
Ah,
Riverside. No,
so
we
yeah.
liked both actually. We loved French Quarter as well, but because you can there's a nice river walk if you walk
Yeah.
between the two. We found, in my opinion, so
Mhm.
French Quarter is a lot smaller than Riverside's quite
Yeah.
spread out, which didn't bother us. It was fine. I
Mm.
found Riverside it was nice and peaceful because it is quite
Right.
spread out. The accommodation's some of it's quite a long way away from the main hub.
Right. Yeah.
Where we were staying, it was nice and quiet, which we quite liked.
Yeah.
Particularly because we were there at Christmas, so it was busy.
Yeah.
So it was
Absolutely.
quite a nice little bit of sanctuary.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know how you felt staying at French Quarter. We always felt French Quarter was like buzzy and quite vibey and fun, which was great. We didn't
Yes.
find it that quiet. That was just our kind of opinion.
Yeah. It wasn't the quietest. I think we had just gone past because I stayed there on my birthday. My birthday's Memorial Day this year. So I think I was expecting it to be super busy actually for Memorial Day, but the park was super empty. And I was kind of like, that's not what I was told, that it'd be this empty. And it
Yeah.
turned out that I think where people are driving in and prices of petrol have gone up, or as Americans would say, gas, I think the problem with that is that people weren't coming in. So towards the end of our trip, we noticed from Wednesday onwards, as we were coming to the very end, that's where the queue times had like completely shot up because everyone had started to drive down. I think also kids that were on school holidays had started that week. So people stayed at home for Memorial Day this time round, and I guess then drove down on the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays. So by the time we went to the park on a Thursday and a Friday, it was like, oh, this is super busy now. Everyone started to come in, and then we left on the Saturday. So it wasn't too bad. Hotel wise though, definitely would say it was buzzy, but more so buzzy because of the people coming to visit rather than people physically staying there.
Yeah.
Where we stayed, it was right at the end. So I don't know how many blocks there are, but we were in block 7. So that was like right far down at the end, and we were by the lake. And funny enough, we kind of walked out and we saw the sign that says beware of like crocodiles or alligators and snakes. And I was like, in my head, you see those videos on TikTok and Insta, and you see like these alligators like knocking at somebody's front door. That's all I could think of. So before I would leave out of the hotel room, I would look at the window just to make sure nothing was there. Because I just got this image of a crocodile just be like, hello.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember actually we had a really funny interaction with Char. So when the first time we went and we stayed at Pop Century, so they've got a big lake, sort of where Pop Century is as well, where the Skyliner goes over the top. And there's a really nice walking trail or running trail if you feel really energetic in the Floridian heat, but
Yeah.
not for me. But all along there is all signs for alligators, obviously, and snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember Charlie was just like, oh, I always thought that was just like, it wasn't real. Like, didn't, I was like, well, obviously not. No, they are real animals and they are in the wild. And so please do stay away from the water edge just in case.
Yeah.
Like, the signs are there for a reason.
Exactly. And we all know Florida's known for having their alligators and what do you call them, the snakes and stuff, or crocodiles. I mean, I don't know the difference between the crocodile and an alligator. I think one in water, one in land. Either way, I don't want to encounter one.
I can't read any of them, do you? That's
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't quite know what I would do actually if I saw one just in front of you like that.
There's no point in me even running because I can see that they run pretty fast for how big they are. So, and they jump, which I came into. I was like, well, at this point, if you're there, you're there.
Yeah, exactly that. Although I think for me, it's spiders for me. I can probably deal snakes, reptilians. It's spiders. I can't do spiders.
No, you would hate it. I had one in my bedroom the other day, and I was like, and I got so angry because it's not that I have an issue with spiders. It's just before we went on the trip, there was one on my ceiling, so I had to get that one. And because of my ceiling's kind of quite high, it's like I have to find something tall, like big enough for me to stand on. But it was in an awkward place because it was by my chest of drawer here. So it's like I needed to reach enough without it running off, but enough for me to catch it. And then
Yeah.
the other day I noticed I come out the shower, looked up it because I've got a wardrobe here with a mirror. I looked at the mirror and I went, "What the hell is that moving in the behind me?" And I looked up and I was like, "Again!" And it's not like these spiders are tiny; they're quite big. They're like that big, and I was just like, "I give up. I'm not
Yeah.
opening my window no more.
No, just leave me alone.
Just leave me alone."
Yeah.
But yes, I've not done any of the Universal resorts. I have looked into them, and I can see that there's significantly a massive price difference.
Huge, yeah. So
Huge.
we have stayed on site at
Yeah.
Universal, and actually for us, so although everyone is fully aware of our opinions on whether we prefer Universal or Disney overall, and
Yeah.
that's what my opinion is, I actually think this is where Universal possibly pip it from a value versus what you get
Right.
from a resort perspective. For
Yeah.
me, I would still prefer Disney Resort,
Yeah.
but actually, yeah, from a value perspective, I do think Universal is better value. So we stayed at 𝗂𝗏𝗡,
Okay. Yeah.
first trip we went to. So we did a split stay, and 𝗂𝗏𝗡 is one of their value. It's a value. It's not. I think Dockside, Surfside are their cheapest ones.
Ah. Okay.
And then you've got 𝗂𝗏𝗡, which is attached to Volcano Bay, the waterfront.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we had one of their rooms, and yeah, for the value, kind of ticket price that it had, the hotel was definitely better than Pop Century. In our opinion. It was it felt more luxury. It was, for the value price that we paid. So I think from our perspective, we did find the actual resort and value, a better.
A little bit better.
And we did do a bit of a sort of trip around. We've never stayed at the other ones, but we have done a bit of a trip around the other hotels. And again, the theming at Universal's brilliant. And we talk about Disney themed hotels, and all their hotels have got a different theme and a different vibe, and we love that about them. But Universal actually is quite similar. So you've obviously got kind of the value ones, Dockside, Surfside. You've got Hard Rock, which is the one obviously close to the park, which is themed as you'd imagine. They've got Portofino Bay, which is it's like an Italian. Looks like an Italian town on the sea.
Right.
Is, again, lovely. It's a lovely resort. And the other thing I think Universal, which is great, which we're actually thinking about doing this trip. So if you do an overnight stay at one of their deluxe hotels, so like Hard Rock, and I think Portofino Bay, you get express passes for everybody included in that.
Ah, okay.
The day of check-in and the day of check-out, which if you've ever looked at how much they cost, you're practically getting the hotel room for free. Particularly for three of us, every single person gets 2 days worth of express passes.
That's really good. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've looked at Universal's hotel. I think the one I was looking at, is it the Aventura one?
Yeah.
I looked at that and that was significantly cheaper, but I think it comes into this part again where it's like, do you prefer Disney? Would you get more use out of Disney or Universal? And I think I'm much more Disney than Universal. So I think that's why I didn't bother picking that one. But if you go for prices and stuff like that, then it's pretty good. And it's still relatively close to International Drive and stuff like that. So I do particularly like the hotels. I mean, like I said, I think next year, if I go back next year, it will definitely be a Disney hotel that I'd end up staying at.
Yeah. I think for us, we're the same. I mean, for us, it's a Disney based holiday with some days. So our August trip coming up will be a few days going to Universal Parks and Epic. We've never been to Epic yet, so we are going to do an Epic day. But for us, I'm like the overnight stay for us means we can get good rope drop in.
True.
The first day you're there. Plus, if we can get the express passes, you can get those 2 parks done pretty efficiently.
Exactly.
For really reasonably good value in my opinion. So so I think that actually for me is where Universal probably pips in terms of value, because you can get a lot for your money. I think the one bit I think with the transport, because obviously we talked about the Disney, because Disney have got oodles of different transport. Monorail, the Skyliner, your buses, you've got your water taxis, you name it, they've
got it.
Minivans. So, and Universal they have got boats from the hotels into the
I did
park.
notice that. Is that from City Walk? I noticed the boats. I'm assuming they take you to their hotels.
Yeah,
Right,
they do.
okay.
Yeah, so
I've never
there's not
actually been
all
up
of them. Yeah, not all of the hotels, but yeah,
right.
some of them along that route. And obviously the buses.
Yeah.
So there's not so much to choose from, I guess, from a
Yeah.
transport perspective. But I do think the universal buses, we have always, whenever we've turned up at a bus stop, there's
Mm.
always been a bus just waiting.
Yes.
Like never ever have we waited for a universal bus. Whereas I think again, Disney, you can on the bus route sometimes wait a while.
Yeah. Or long crowds. I did notice that when I went to, where did I go? The Broadwalk, and then we got there, and then one thing I have to say is that there's the way that they handle people in wheelchairs or buggies. I absolutely love it, and it's simply because it's nothing like the UK where our buses you have to be quite close to a curb and you
Yeah.
press the button. They don't even come out the little cabin that they're in. Whereas
No.
I love the fact that they have to come out, close all the doors, open it manually, then they help them on, and then they strap them in. And I think that is such a great feature.
Yeah.
Safety wise anyway. But yeah, I would definitely say that their transportation's a lot more easier than Universal, I've only ever taken their bus once, and this was the first time because where we have stayed in both hotels where they're partnered with Universal, there's a free shuttle. So it was quite easy just to jump on those shuttles and take us straight to the parks. In terms of going from park to park, so Epic Universe is a lot more closer to International Drive. It's almost like behind where International Drive, the strip would be. Um, the distance between Epic and Universal Studios itself is a bit of a distance, I'd say. It's about a 10-minute distance. But there is a bus that does take you to one to the other.
Okay.
And it's a pretty good route. I mean, it kind of goes around the back and then ends back on International Drive, and before you know it, you're in Universal Studios. So it wasn't bad. And again, like you say, I didn't wait for a bus. I practically got there and he was like, "Oh, we're just gonna wait here for like 10 minutes." But then the bus got really packed and he's like, "You know what, I'm gonna go now." Because I feel bad if I have to leave everybody outside and then you guys are already on. So he's like, "I'm just gonna go now." So there was always a but there. That's the only time I did get to take the bus, and this was like this was the final day actually. That was my last full day in Florida. We went from Epic Universe to Universal Studios. So that's the only time I actually taken that bus. Whereas in Disney, I did maneuver around between parks. Like I said, I still haven't done the Skyliner, guys. There was no reason for me to do it this trip, and I really wanted to do it. And I went to my mum, "What can we take this to?" And she was like, "I don't know because we're tired and we're on the verge of going home." And I was like, "I know, but I just need to try it once," and I still didn't get to. So
On it. Yeah, no, like I said, I know we talked about this before, but
yeah,
I was terrified at the start of Skyliner. So the very first trip we went, I didn't do it because I was too frightened to get on it. And then the second time we did, my husband and Charlie both got me on there. And it was actually did like literally shut my eyes the whole way along. It was, like, it was a bit breezy, it was swaying around. I was like, this cannot be safe. And I was very surprised at how quickly, so when it comes out of the stations, it speeds up.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, and it speeds up when it comes into a station, so you don't look like you're about to crash into the back of the one in front.
Oh no.
That took me a bit of time to get used to too, but now I'm used to it. I actually really like the Skyliner. It's very efficient.
There's not many places you can take it. I know Hollywood Studios and Epcot have them, but what hotel are they connected to?
So it's Pop Century, so that's like the
Right.
furthest one along the line.
Yeah.
Caribbean Beach, the
Right.
Riviera.
Okay.
Is that it? Yeah, Riviera, and then it goes into Boardwalk. So obviously it's
Right.
where the Epcot gateway is.
Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that makes more sense and understandable why I didn't take it because I had no reason to.
No, absolutely not. And I suppose, like I say, unless you're going between Hollywood Studios and Epcot, maybe you could.
Yeah.
But there's no other reason, unless you wanted to visit Art of Animation or Pop Century.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to visit those hotels. I mean, it's one of those things where I think if I was in the Disney bubble and staying on resort and going from there, then I probably would have had more of an opportunity. But because we were going from our hotel straight to the parks, a lot of the times, so Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom all have their own Uber, like rideshare drop-off place. Magic Kingdom obviously doesn't have that. You get dropped off at the TTC and then you jump on the monorail. So it's a little different. So it's not like I needed to get transportation from certain places. I mean, if you went to the TTC, you could jump on the monorail that takes you. Is it to Epcot that it takes you, I think?
Yes.
So yeah, that would be the only other way to do it. But again, it's like it's one of those things where you can pick up an Uber or a Lyft and go straight to the park that you're going to. So yeah, there just wasn't an opportunity this trip for me to
No.
utilize those transportations.
I
But
think that's the thing, isn't it, about staying off site though? Because when you are on site and in the bubble,
mm,
you tend to move around it a bit more freely because you're there anyway.
yeah,
And we do. I mean, like one of our favorite days is to spend just a resort hopping day. Absolutely love that. Where we
yeah,
don't go to a park at all, and we literally just, right, where are we going to go? And we kind of map a route of 3 or 4
yeah,
different resorts to just go and meander around and go and grab some lunch and
yeah,
check out the lounges. And there's some really, really brilliant restaurants and lounges and all that sort of stuff just in the resorts themselves.
yeah. That was my aim for this trip, but that did not happen. I did not resort hop. The amount of times we wanted to go to the Polynesian just to
Hmm.
try the food and just to see that hotel, and we still haven't done it. So I think it's definitely a case of actually we stay on resort, we stay in the bubble, and that's where it ends. And
Yeah.
that means we've got more opportunity to hop around and stuff like that. I also think about renting a car this time as well because
Yeah.
I think I'm brave enough to drive in the USA. But it was a lot of waiting around and Ubers were so much more expensive this trip. Well, Ubers and Lyft. Understandably, we get why. But that I just found I spent so much money on Ubers, Lyfts, everything. It was just I was like, okay, this is a lot. If you compare it to last year when I went, which was in March, to this year, there's a lot. So I was like, it actually would have worked out better if I just hired a car so that when I did do the shopping days, I wasn't sitting in the sun waiting for an Uber or a Lyft. But yeah. So next one will be Disney Bubble.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we noticed that the Ubers over the last couple of trips actually have just got more
Yeah.
and more expensive. And actually more different. They don't come as quickly either. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
You have to wait longer for them. Which like we said, it was more noticeable this
Mm,
time. Not that we used them a lot, but
yeah.
more noticeable this time. And I do think that the amount that you spend on them, you probably
Yeah.
aren't saving very much actually by the
Yeah,
time.
not at all.
Yeah.
There was not one bit of ounce of saving anything because they're just so much more expensive.
Yeah.
When I weighed it up and I then was out there and kind of like did a quick Google search, how long would it cost me to hire a car for 14 days? It actually was a lot cheaper than what I spent on Ubers. And I was like, now I put it in perspective. I mean, you learn things every trip that you go on to, and
Yeah.
that was definitely one of my biggest learning things in terms of hotels, transportation, the distances that we were at, and spending 14 days there. That was such a different experience in itself
Yeah.
because you still don't get to do everything that you want to do, even though you've got 14 days.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were in the planning stage now for our August holiday.
Yeah.
And I have, if anybody saw it on my stories recently, but I literally have got a planner which I'm going through and trying to plan what we're going to do each day.
Yeah.
Roughly. Obviously, it's not a rigid plan because nothing ever goes to rigid plan.
Absolutely.
But there's so much stuff on there that even after the number of times we've been now and we still haven't done these things, they're still on the list because we've not
Yeah.
had to do them yet. Yeah, which is crazy. And that's when people ask you, well, you're going back again. And you're like, well, yeah, but it will be in a completely different trip.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, there's a
You
whole
still
trip.
haven't completed stuff.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, it's just, yes, like why we keep going back, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I suppose the other thing, just in terms of resort, so the resorts, Universal versus Disney, is obviously we haven't talked about is City Walk versus
Yeah.
Disney Springs, I guess, which is the equivalent. And again, massively different vibes, aren't they?
Yeah, massive. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to say again, it still would be Disney Springs. I feel like Universal caters to your adults. I feel like it caters to your adults without children.
Yeah.
Because Universal, if we go into touch bases on rides a little bit, you've got a lot more of your bigger rides, your roller coasters, that kind of thing. There isn't much apart from, is it Zeus Land? Where you've got like the little kiddie rides, like the trolley ride or the Cat in the Hat, and is it one fish, two fish, third fish, blue fish? I think it's called.
Zeus Land. I love Zeus Land. What's the word?
So do I. It's colourful. It's bright. If you compare it to each section, it's very colourful. But there's also lots of bits in there which I'm a bit like, well, I haven't got a clue what this is because I can't work out what film it is. Like, there's the bit where you walk from Zeus Landing, and if you're aiming towards Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and you kind of walk up, and there's like this almost Egyptian-y theme.
Yeah, I know where you
Can't
mean.
work out what bit that part is because I'm like, I'm confused by. It's almost like Greek. That's it. It's like a very Greek mythology section, and I'm like, well, what film's this from? Because the mummy is in the other side of the park. So what
Yeah.
part is this? It doesn't make a lot of sense. And the same with the Spider-Man ride being there. That's now obviously taken over by Disney. So the questions, is Disney paying, or should I say Universal paying Disney to keep it there? Great ride, might I add. Flings you about a lot more than I anticipated. Did not anticipate that was the first time I rode that, guys. Got flung around like no one's business. I was like, this is not what I was anticipating. There's a lot of rides that I wasn't anticipating, but
Yeah.
I think your rides in your rides at Universal and including like City Walk is very tailored to your adults. It's a lot of drinking, a lot of eating. Whereas if you switch over to Disney, it kind of caters to everybody.
I completely agree with you, and I actually think that's probably where we've been at, because obviously Charlie's younger. He's not.
Yeah.
He will not appreciate me calling him younger anymore. He's nearly 14 now, but he's always historically been on the younger side. So
Yeah.
as much as he likes the thrill rides now, he didn't when we first went.
Mm.
And City Walk is just not geared for families at all. Not
Yeah,
again, in my opinion.
absolutely not.
The sports bar, he
Yeah.
loves it in there. Absolutely loves it in there. But other than that, everywhere else, as you say, it's more about drinking. There's, it's the music. It's all that. So
Yeah.
it's not geared for families. And honestly, the age that we are now, we much prefer a nice, quiet evening meal, even if it was just us as a couple.
Yeah.
Then I'm into like a really loud, late, drunken night out.
Yeah.
That's also not my vibe when I'm on
Yeah.
holiday anymore. Would have been when I was like 21, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So I think for us, that's exactly why Disney Springs is a much more relaxed. You can go in the afternoon into a nice
Yeah.
early evening dinner, and there's just things to do, isn't there? That like
Yeah.
family orientated and a bit more relaxed, particularly when
Exactly.
you're in the middle of really busy park days.
Yeah.
Disney Springs feels like a day off.
Yeah. And it's almost more like it's still Disney without the park. Whereas
Yeah.
Universal and City Walk feels more like they're two separate things. Like there's no correlation. And I guess because Universal's more to do with the movie side of things, like I guess if you go all the way back to where it had Back to the Future, they've got the Men in Black ride there. You've got the Simpsons, which kind of I didn't know that was also owned by Universal. It's bits of everything, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Whereas with
Yeah.
Disney, I think everything ties into the same thing. It's like a theme is in one section, and then you got that section, and then that section. Whereas I guess if you're more like the only section I would think about is Harry Potter, you've got it on both sides. There's a whole section for that, and then you've got the Jurassic side of things there, like Jurassic Park and everything. And then you've got the Minions, that's more of a section. But then you've got random rides slapdashed in between that. Like you've got the Jimmy Fallon ride, which is just as you come out of I love that ride. It's one of me and Mum's
Do
favorite.
you? Oh God,
We do love that.
We hate that ride. I don't know if it's just because we don't over here watch Jimmy Fallon, do we?
Yeah, same
I
here.
just don't get it. We get in there, but we walked out of that the first time we went on it. We were all looking at each other like, "What?
What
the hell
happened?
is that?" Yeah.
I think I've only ever watched it if I've been in the USA and it's happened to pop up on TV, but I've never physically watched him. Or I see bits on like social media, like TikTok. Everybody films everything, so
Yeah.
you see bits like that. But then and I guess if you keep walking around, you've got one section of the Mummy,
Yeah.
and then you go to another bit and it's like E.T. And then you've
Yeah.
got the new section, which is it Dreamland? Which has got like Shrek. I didn't actually touch bases into that section simply because we were getting tired and we just had specific rides that we wanted to do. So we kind of went in there and I got myself like a little Shrek's pretzel, and then we saw Shrek, Fiona and Donkey, but I didn't want to wait in the queue. So I was just like, I can see them from a distance. We'll have to do this part at a later date. And stuff like that. So yeah, everything's kind of everywhere. Whereas with Disney, I feel like it's tied more in.
Yeah. Oh, it does,
Yeah.
absolutely. And for me, it's like you said, when you walk between things, so that
Mhm.
for me is my biggest bugbear when I'm at Universal, because the
Yeah.
rides are great. I used to be a really big ride person. I'm now
Yeah.
all at an age. It spins me out now. I find them too like I can do one and then I'm
Yeah.
kind of done for the day of big
Yeah.
rides. And also as well, I find Universal quite screen heavy. Um, and
Yes.
I do
Yes.
find that I struggle with that I have to have a break in between because otherwise
Yeah.
that's starting to make me feel unwell. Whereas so that I struggle a bit with Universal, but equally
Yeah.
you've got where it moves from one land to another. If
Mhm.
you're in Disney and it does it seamlessly, and you kind of almost don't realize you've moved on until you've realized the
Yes.
music has changed and the smells are different.
Yeah.
You've done it in a really subtle way, and you've kind of just quietly moved into a new space
Yeah.
without realizing you've done it. Whereas at Universal, you're in like the Marvel area, which is all
Yeah.
loud, all the music, and then the next minute you're in somewhere else, and but you can hear both. So
Yeah.
there's a flashover of noise, and that
Absolutely.
again, it's just for me an overload of senses. I'm just like, oh my god! By the time I've finished,
Yeah.
make sure
It
I
is
lie
a
down
lot.
somewhere.
Even
Yeah.
I was like that. We did Spider-Man, and then you walk out and you go into almost like a comic strip.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that part was brilliantly
It's
done.
great. Yeah, it is really
But
good theming.
I was confused by each point because I was like,
Yeah.
well, you've got Betty Boop over here,
Yeah.
but then you have Popeye over there. But I don't remember Betty Boop being a comic strip.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get where you were going with this idea. And I think because Universal's quite old, they change things as they go along.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make much sense. Like, for example, with Disney, Tiana's Bayou, I did do that ride, loved it, didn't get as wet. And I know some people that if you watch this, you're going to get upset because the people I went on with, most of you got drenched. I was lucky enough to not get wet apart from my shoulder, and that was about it.
Winning.
It's a great ride though, but it has a lot of drops in there that I did not expect. Like you see people's vlogs and you're like, huh? But if we go back to the theming of it, it kind of ties in with the whole theming where it's supposed to be like bayou, mountains, that kind of thing. That's what I think of. So they did, like you said, they do it quite seamlessly. Epic Universe, brilliant. Whoever the architecture designer is, hands to them. They did that very well. However, they need to sort out that Mario section. Like the
really?
Super Mario World. Extremely overwhelming, extremely small, way too many colors. And I guess
Okay.
that's what the game is like.
Yeah.
But to be in it, it's a lot. Because it's so tiny. It's such a tiny area. They really needed to expand that whole area. Because if you get too many people in it, you're bumping heads.
Yeah. Do
And
they limit the number of people in there?
no.
They don't.
At least I don't think they do. When I was in there, I don't think they did. I mean, I don't want to spoil it as much for you guys, so I try not to talk too much about it, but
No, no, it's fine. I've watched loads of vlogs. It's
oh,
fine.
okay. That's fine. So I can go into each part of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like Mario side, colorful, if you've got like sensory issues, it's gonna overpower them because even for me at some points I was like to my mom, I have to get out of here now because now I'm being overpowered with too much senses. Because then you've got the kids making noise, the noise from the ride itself is loud, the noise in the area, there's a lot of music, it's tiny. And one thing I noticed with Universal, they love a good stairs.
Yeah.
They love a good set of stairs because you get in and then you got to go downstairs to get to certain rides. And I was like, I just took an escalator to get up here.
Down again.
And now I got to go back down the stairs. And it's like the signpostage for the rides, non-existent. So you actually don't know what people are queuing for. I got in and I was like, I actually don't know what is where. And we ended up in a ride that my mum was like, well, what is this? And I goes, I don't know. So I'm just going to have to fathom it. And then I worked out that we were into that. It's like where you're supposedly meant to be in the VR section and kind of, how can I put it? Like you're driving the car itself.
Yep.
But the ride didn't make any sense to me. I came off that ride and me and mum went, so what was the aim of that ride? And I was like, I don't know. Didn't make much sense to me at all.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got the other section, like we really wanted to do the Donkey Kong's Madness minecart. You know, the one where it's supposed to look like it's not tracklet, like there's no tracks there.
Yeah.
We wanted to do that, but the wait time for that was ridiculous. Like it was constantly 200 and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not waiting over 200 hour like minutes for a ride.
Crazy.
So we went to kind of like come out and go do the other ones. And then you kind of go into like your dark universe. Again, brilliantly thought out. Loved it. Monsters Unchained. Love it. I did that twice.
I've heard so many good things about that ride.
That ride, again, whoever came up with the concept of that ride, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Biggest recommendation, do not wear sandals to that park. Someone's flip-flop was left on the side in that ride. It was hilarious, and it made me laugh. I was like, and then the last time I went to ride it, I was in Crocs, and I was like trying to hold my feet together because they were in sports mode, but you just never know what happens.
Sure, no, absolutely.
And they had another ride there. I don't know what it's called, but it's very similar if you've done 𝗏𝗏𝗄's Coaster into Disneyland Paris, where you're roller coaster but spinning at the same time.
Yeah.
If you don't like those rides, I recommend not doing that one in Dark Universe, because even I didn't. I didn't like 𝗏𝗏𝗄's Coaster, so if you don't like it, I don't recommend you do it. Then the Harry Potter bit, again, great theming. However, if you are a Harry Potter fan, go to Universal itself. If you are a Fantastic Beasts fan, then go to Epic, because my mum loved that part because it was themed around France. Yeah. For me, I don't like the Fantastic Beasts series. I'm more of a Harry Potter girl through and through, so I love the other side of the park to that. But yeah, the theming was great. Not enough rides, in my opinion. You could get it done in one day. However, the problem behind it would be all the rides breaking down. Like we did wait a long time. I want to say we waited maybe 2.5 hours for the Harry Potter ride in that side. And it was only because we got into the queue and we got so far in, you know, like how you go past the flu powder and all of that bit and whatnot. You get in and we were already kind of stuck there at that point. I was like to Mum, we're in it. We might as well not come out of it.
Yeah.
But we waited a long time, and the design of it was incredible. My only issue is there's so many little rooms to go through, and every time you think you're near the ride, you're actually nowhere near the ride.
They fool you the whole way through.
They do fool you the whole way through. So, but it was a great ride. You do get flung about a little bit. So if you definitely got back issues, be careful, because it does do some like harsh movements. Like it'll move and then stop quite abruptly. Yeah. But it is a great ride. Epic Universe is nice, but there could be more.
I think that's why we haven't done it yet, because we like to said about, I don't know if I said it in the last episode, we did have a ticket on one of our trips, and we just changed, we looked at the queue times, and it's like, we've only got a 1-day ticket, we're literally going to get there, be able to wander around, and that's it. And it's like, oh, it's a whole day.
Yeah.
How much will we get done? Which is why we've sort of avoided it up to this point, but Charlie is desperate to go, so we need to go this time round. I'm hoping it might have quietened down a little bit.
Hopefully. I mean, I definitely recommend doing your bigger rides first. So if you want to do Madness Minecart, run for that. I have seen in other people's vlogs where they said they've gone really late in the evening and they've gone to the Harry Potter ride where there's less people. However, it just didn't work with us because we wanted to use the free shuttle and save a bit of money on getting an Uber over to there.
Yeah.
But I would say that if you're going to do it, get your 2 big rides done out of the way. I mean, I don't know what Stardust Racer was like in terms of wait time. I didn't do it. I did see it, and it almost reminds me, I don't know how far back you remember of Universal. They had that ride, which is, I want to say it was called Double Dutch or something like that, and it used to cross over. It used to be like a red track and a blue track, and they cross over. And in fact, I think, is it Bring It On that even did the film based around that maneuver where they did the jump and then flew over. It's Stardust Racer kind of reminds me of that, where it crosses over, like you got 2 going at the same time and they cross over. So it does a great concept. I didn't want to try it by myself.
It's, to me, again, it's that ride that looks, because Velocicoaster for me is that ride that I look at every time and I'm like,
I've not done that still. That's still one that I haven't.
It's a lap bar on a ride
Oh, was
that
it a
they
lap
just
bar?
yes, that's
What happened to
not
the
for me
top?
at all. No, exactly that.
Just gonna be like strung out like this.
No, I'm just literally just imagining, just feeling like I'm falling out everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's just not for me. And I think Stardust Races is the same. I'm sure that's just a lap bar. So for me,
Oh, I'm glad
lap
I
bar.
didn't go in it to them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did brave out. What's the ride? Do you know the two Harry Potter ones? The one in the bank and the one in the castle?
Oh, Gringotts
Yeah.
and Forbidden
And
Journey.
that's the one. I did brave those two and did it by myself because mum was
Oh,
like, I'm fed up of rides. So I said, fine. So I went in the single rider lane. I waited maybe half an hour in the single rider for the one in the bank. So that's the Escape of Gringotts, I think it is. I waited half an hour for that. Brilliant ride. I'm so glad I did it. It was a great ride. Then I did the Forbidden Journey one, and it was pretty much a walk on for me
Oh,
because I did
really?
the single rider. I walked back out. My mom was like, "That was quick," and I was like, "She's like, did you ride it?" And I went, "Yeah," and she was like, "But that was really quick. I just sat down." I was like, "Well, you need to get back up." But it was a great ride, and I did want to do the Hagrid's one by myself because my mom many years ago, 2023, I accidentally took my mom on that one. We both thought it was a little bit slower than we anticipated, and she doesn't trust me, so she will never do it again now. But I
Yeah.
did it. I went to go into the single rider and it was closed. So then I just came back out and said, I don't really want to wait because they were like, they're going to open it in 20 minutes. But I was like, my feet hurt. I wore Crocs for the day and I'm
Yeah.
tired. It's the day before we fly home. Let's just go back to the hotel. So
Yeah. But that
in
is a great
terms,
ride.
yeah,
Do love that.
it's a good ride. I would like to do that again. But yeah, that is how the Universal side of rides and stuff like that went for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of rides at Universal, aren't there? And you can,
Yeah,
there is, and they're not all big. We keep saying about that there's a lot of
yeah.
rides. There are a lot of big rides there, but they're not all massive, are they? There is some quite good family friendly rides there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose my only criticism is that they are quite screen heavy. A lot of
Yeah.
them.
Whereas Disney's not quite like that. I did try well, they're new to me, not new to everybody else, but they're definitely new to me. Tron, Tiana's Bayou, and Guardians of the Galaxy. They were the three that I wanted to tick off my list, and I absolutely love all of them. One ride I didn't like was Mission. Is it Mission Space? Mission. Now, ain't nobody told me that I was about to fly out my skin.
Which one did you do? Did you do the
The
green or
intent, because that's what my friend and her
the
mom took me on.
oh dear.
And my friend and her children, I can definitely say that the children probably handled the ride better than I did. I mean, I was fine, but I just didn't expect, in like The Simpsons, and they do those scenes where their body is out, like their skeleton side of them is out of their skin. That
Yeah.
was almost what it felt like. It was almost like like I was being sucked up into a hurricane or something, and like my bones were trying to escape my skin. It is a horrible feeling. Like
Yeah.
I
No,
said, I
absolutely.
did not enjoy that. I'd never do that again because that was not enjoyable at all.
It's when you sit down and you realise there's sick bags in front of you.
I didn't
And you're
even
like,
see the
oh,
sick bags. That's what
yeah.
made that funnier.
Oh, this ride is not for me. What am I doing in here?
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, oh, okay, this is a cute little ride. So I got in, and I've never really researched it. It's got in now, and I'm like, okay. Then we took off, and I was like, this is horrible. Like, who and why did they want to try this?
Yeah. Yeah. Who is this fun for? Like,
Exactly, because this just
yeah.
feels like my body is trying to escape.
Yeah.
Like my organs are being snatched from me.
Yeah.
Not a fun ride, but I did love Guardians of the Galaxy. I got the song I wanted. I wanted September.
Oh, the best
So I was
song.
very happy with that. The ride is brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's fast, but I didn't notice it because I was too busy singing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Tron again, that was brilliantly, whoever invented that one, amazing. I did bruise my ankle. In fact, I still feel the bruise on my ankle for where you're sat like quite forward and your ankle's like got the bar across it. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is rather
It is uncomfortable.
irritated.
It is uncomfortable. My only criticism of Tron is that the launch is brilliant.
Mm,
Best launch on a ride,
yeah.
but then it slows down. So like you get
Yeah.
a really great launch, and then you get to a point and it's like, oh. And for me, that's what it does. It's like
Yeah.
it's not long enough.
Definitely not long enough because I came to the end. I mean, I actually filmed it this time with my meta glasses. So that will come out on my Instagram channel at some point. I'm about to launch out day one this Friday, but it was like I kind of got on it. You move around, and I was like, we're done.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of it?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah, the launch is the ride for me.
Yeah, the launch is very much the perfect part, and then it's like you go around and like, okay, I'm back inside now. So is there more to this? And then you slow down, and you realize you're at the end of the ride, and you're like, well, that was quick.
Yeah, exactly that. I suppose if you don't like it, it's over quickly.
Yeah.
There
But
is
it's a
that.
great ride. Like the concept of it is great, and I would have loved to have done it at nighttime just to see the contrast between day and night.
Yeah.
Oh, I did do. What did I do? Snow White's the Snow White one, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, the mine
That was
train.
quite fun.
I quite like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one at all, but I did it at night. So I tried to film it and you just can't see anything. Meta glasses are useless in nighttime and you
Yeah.
just couldn't see anything. So it was like you hear me and you hear the people screaming, but you don't really see much. I think the fireworks were happening at the time we were riding it as well. So that was quite nice. And then me and my mum did Flight of Passage. Took me by surprise.
Love that ride.
But they need to sort out the blurriness because
I agree with you. There are bits of it that are not good.
Focused,
Some bits,
yeah.
because I think when we rode it this time around, it actually, I think it was better. I don't know whether it was where we were sat, because obviously you're on levels, aren't you?
yeah.
Obviously, it depends on where you are in the ride. We didn't find it quite so bad, and I wasn't sure whether they'd updated it or done something with the
Yeah.
screen. But no, I'm with you. There are definitely bits of it where
That is just pure blur, and I was a bit
when you
confused.
go into the dark,
Yeah,
that should be amazing, and I
yeah.
find that bit just really blurry.
I found so many bits blurry, and I thought it was my eyesight at first, and I was like, it's like if you tilt your head in a certain way, the blur disappears. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the screen itself or the glasses, but
hmm
whatever it was like the ride was brilliantly done. I absolutely loved it. It reminded me a little bit of Soaring, but
Yeah.
this time that you're more moving because it's more movement from your part as well as the screen. Oh, and speaking of Soaring, new news, they have that new section to it, which is now Soaring Around America.
Yes. Was that there when you were there?
Yes, I actually went to
Okay.
it on launch day, which was so it launched on the 26th of May. Um, and again, greatly because I was staying in French quarters, I just hopped on a bus and went straight to Epcot. Um, Brilliant. Absolute brilliant ride. Loved it. I do prefer Soaring Around the World
Mhm.
because I think, wait, this one's called Soaring Across America. So I think I was a bit more confused because there's certain parts of America that I was like, I don't know where this is because I've not been to it, but I definitely prefer Soaring Around around the world over the Soaring Across America. But the wait time for that wasn't all that bad. I think we waited maybe less than half an hour.
Mhm.
I want to say less than half an hour, but by the time we came out of the ride and I looked at the wait time, it was like an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
I think that's when you could tell more and more people were coming into the park.
Yeah.
It was towards the end of my trip. This would have been the Tuesday. So yeah, that would have been the Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. So you could tell people are now in. It
Yeah.
was getting busier, it was getting more crowded. And I tried the Frozen ride.
We did that for the first time this trip as well.
Yeah, wait time ridiculously long,
Yeah.
but I waited because we didn't do it. Um, it's a good ride, very short.
Yeah, not worth the wait.
No,
That's exactly what we said. I think that ride, if it wasn't Frozen themed, if it was just that ride, it would be like a nice little filler ride,
yeah.
like Grand Fiesta Tour, which I actually do quite enjoy. It's a
Oh, I
nice bit of
can't stand
aircon
that.
in the heat. You don't like it, but you only wait like 2 minutes for it.
Yeah.
It's like literally just on it, aren't you? For
Yeah,
me, Frozen, the actual ride itself, that is exactly what it is. It's
yeah,
just got Frozen IP, hasn't it? So therefore, it is manically busy and very
yeah. It's a good ride, but yeah, just I didn't find that it was worth the wait that I waited for. I guess it's no different to the one that's in Paris. I think it's the same concept and the same layout. I think the actual thing is the same ride.
Yeah.
And then with that, if we move into like the Flower and Garden Festival, because I know Epcot had that and we were coming towards the end of it. Food there, brilliant. I genuinely enjoyed it. I had a funnel cake for the first time. Is it funnel?
Yeah,
Yeah, funnel cake. That was extremely delicious.
yeah. Did I ever tell you the story about what Charlie calls those cakes?
No.
First time we went, so obviously you've got that little hut, haven't you?
Yeah,
Where you walk past it. He
yeah.
actually thought they were called funeral cakes.
Oh God.
Yeah. He was like, what are funeral cakes? I was like, no, funnel cakes. But that's now what we call them. They are forever
Funeral
funeral
cakes.
Yeah.
They are really, really good though. Like it took me by surprise. I wanted to try it on my last trip, and I was just like, you know, when you run out of time to eat so much food, like we spent so much money that one day just trying all the food that we wanted to try because we hadn't tried them yet. So we definitely went round and ate our way through Epcot. Didn't drink
Yeah.
our way through it, but definitely ate our way through it. And it's the place that I clocked on that has the least amount of shade.
Yeah.
Like, it was a real massive struggle. It got to a point, like, we did it, I can't remember, in the first week, and we only managed to cope for like half the day because we were like, this is getting way too hot. Like,
Yeah.
even I'm like getting to a point where I'm struggling with the heat. So then we said the next time we'll do, like, we did half the parks. I think we got as far as, we started on Mexico the first time, and we got as far as the USA. And then I said to my mom, we'll do like the other half of the park when we come back on the 26th because I wanted to try the new soaring.
Mhm.
And I just absolutely, even then I still struggled. Like by the end of that day, I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah. There are sections of it, aren't there? It's like you're trying to get from one bit to another, and you have to
Yeah.
walk for quite long periods just in direct sunlight.
Yeah, because I guess like the around the world bit where you'd have all the countries, that's kind of like further back.
Yeah.
You got the ball at the front
Yeah.
and everything else there, like your connections and you got Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. That's kind of there, and then you got the rides in each section, and so that's like that's a lot.
I tell you the bit that we always find the worst is like if you're going from the World Showcase and you're walking
Yeah,
across like towards the land,
yeah,
that walk from there to by the time you get to the land pavilion,
yeah,
you're literally dripping. Like
yeah.
the aircon as you walk through the door is like the best thing in the world.
Literally,
It is just
it's
boiling.
it's a lot of walking around, and you don't realize it. I mean, when I went in March, it wasn't that bad because the heat hadn't kind of ramped up at that point yet. But I
Yeah.
said to Mum, I don't think I'll be going around my birthday again because the weather was just way too much. Like
Yeah.
my feet, Mum's ankles just kept swelling. My feet was just constantly aching. I mean, I definitely got a tan, but I got a tan as far as like face, arms, and legs.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much the same color I left with. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
ride wise, yeah, there's a lot of rides that I've now done that I've ticked off my bucket list and been like, I'm actually really glad that I've done them. And now I'm probably a bit more braver to do them by myself rather than waiting for someone to do them with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
think once you've done them once,
yeah,
you know what to expect, don't you? That's what I'm like with rides.
exactly.
I like to know what I'm doing. So because I always like to watch a POV of a ride,
Yeah,
just so I kind of know what's coming up.
yeah, exactly. And that's
So
what I did.
surprised by these things.
Exactly. But yeah, so that is, I guess, our Disney versus Universal. I think we are very much Disney people in terms of hotels, in terms of transportation, and in terms of rides. There's a lot more to do as a family and stuff like that,
Yeah.
no matter what the age is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what it is overall with Disney. I think
Yeah,
it's there and it caters for whatever mood you're in, whatever age you
yeah.
are. There's something to do, isn't there? But
I think,
Universal is
yeah,
still good fun.
yeah,
And we will always have that in our trips because
absolutely.
we do
Yeah,
enjoy it. It's it is different, but
yeah.
yeah, we still enjoy it.
Yeah, I think price wise as well, there's a massive difference. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but I collect Disney pins or any pin really. And the price difference from last year to this year is ridiculous. Like, the cheapest pin I think is 14.99,
Yeah,
whereas like the cheapest pin that you could get last year was at least 12 something.
yeah.
And I was just like, this is shocking. And that's before tax.
Mm,
And I just found it absolutely shocking. But even the snacks have gone up in price, not so much for Disney, I find, but for Universal. Like, I got the Shrek pretzel, and that was like $14 for one.
yeah,
I was like, I don't remember Disney charging me that much for a pretzel. I don't think it is that much for a pretzel. So
no,
it's like, it is funny. Like, Universal's cheaper, I would say, in their like pricing of their hotels, whereas Disney's a bit more expensive, whether it's value or not value. But Then Disney's more expensive in their merch, but Universal's a little cheaper, and then Universal's a bit more expensive in their snacks,
Yeah.
but Universal isn't. And there's not a lot of snacks in Universal compared to Disney.
No,
That's
no,
what
it's
I
not as
find.
much choice because I think that we find that with Universal. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
where you are in the park. There's not that much unique stuff. It's all kind of the
yeah.
same sort of stuff.
I also find food-wise, we don't eat a lot there
No.
because we don't know what to eat because there's not like every few steps, I guess, in Disney, no matter which, I mean, if you go Epcot, there's a food stall everywhere.
Yeah.
Go to Animal Kingdom, I think we ate the least in. I think I had a drink and a dessert there, but well, it was the pineapple cream cheese lumpia, and I think that's more of a dessert rather than an actual like thing to eat. But again, there's like all these different unique snacks, or you've got actual places to go and eat, especially with the quick service. Like my go-to at quick service is either Casey's Corner in Magic Kingdom or um is it Cosmic Ray?
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah, Cosmic Ray. So theirs is a bit more, there's a lot more quick service options, whereas you go to Universal and you're like, okay, well, where is their options?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
So
And we find
yeah,
the same. Yeah.
it's it's great to go to both, but if you want a more inclusivity, Disney's your way to go, I find.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we definitely find the same. Like I say,
Yeah.
there's a place for both for us.
Yeah,
And I can see why other people would love Universal over Disney,
yeah,
depending on what you're looking for. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, definitely Disney for us.
Yeah. So, just for a park like tip of the week, something that I personally learned from my trip is not getting 14-day tickets to both parks. So, I mistakenly got 14-day tickets to both Disney and Universal. I wasted my Universal park tickets because I had 14 days, but we only went in them two times out of the trip. On one particular day we did Epic and then went straight to Universal afterwards, and then there was another day where we gone to Universal and just spent the whole day there. Oh, sorry, gone to Epic and spent the whole day there, and that was like a massive waste for me personally. Now that I think back to it, we spent so much more time in Disney because there was so much more that we wanted to do. This time we did do the 14 day, the 4-day four parks, sorry. So we did Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. And Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom was both new parks to me and my mum. And we loved them. I think my mum actually said that Animal Kingdom might be her new favorite park. But I did quite like it, but I think I'm still an Epcot girl. I think I'm just a big back, so I like my food.
Still our favourite.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom is a close second for us.
See, I still like Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is my next. I think Magic Kingdom's your tradition. It's your
Yeah.
castle. It's your princessy vibe. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on there. Whereas, yeah, I do like Animal Kingdom though. I absolutely love the safari and the rides that were there and everything like that. But I definitely would say that when you are booking a Disney trip or a trip to Orlando, sorry, make sure that you know what you truly want to do because you could end up wasting your park tickets when if you're going to pick something more. So if you feel like Disney would be better for you and your family, then pick Disney and then maybe buy like a 2-day ticket to Universal or a 1-day ticket, depending on what you want to do. If you're more Universal and you do like the big thrill rides and stuff like that, then absolutely book that and maybe book a specific park that you might like in Disney. But I would definitely say don't do the 14-day tickets because we just didn't
I,
utilize it.
I absolutely 100% agree. I think the temptation to buy both sets of 14-day
Yeah.
tickets, because from the UK, they are good value.
Yeah.
They look like you're saving loads of money. But we always do the same. Like with the
Yeah.
Universal tickets, it's like actually we only spend 2 days there max probably.
Yeah.
Which actually then makes it more expensive. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's one of those temptations, isn't it? To save
Yeah.
a bit of money when you're not really saving anything at all.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
one thing I'd say is that if you are gonna do it and you do want to book a ticket for like 1 or 2 days, do what I did the first time I ever went. I used a VPN and I booked my ticket. I made it look like I was already in Miami and I just booked my Universal ticket that way. And I think I booked it for 1 day. I think at the time that we went for last year, because that's how I booked it last year, I want to say I paid £600, and that was for 2 days. So one day, two parks for two people. So about 300 and something pounds each. And I think that was actually so much cheaper than getting the 14-day tickets. Because that probably would have shoved down, because I booked my ticket with the 14-day Universal ones with Virgin as part of my hotel and flight package. It probably would have saved me so much more if I didn't do that, because I could have just used that same money and just bought a 2-day ticket, one to Epic and one to just Universal,
Yeah.
and did it that way, because it just didn't make sense
Yeah.
to
No,
have the
I
14
agree.
day.
The VPN actually is also a very good trip tip for
Yeah.
like booking if you ever want to do Mickey's Not So Scary or
Yeah.
Merry I can never say that, Very Merry
Merry
Christmas
Christmas
Party.
Party.
Yeah, any special event tickets, after hours
Yeah.
tickets and all that sort of stuff, you need the VPN for that as well, because
Yeah.
you can't buy them from here generally, apart from I think you might be able to buy them from Undercover Tourist.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Or possibly attraction tickets do special event tickets.
I
Might do.
think they do. I'm not entirely sure, because when I booked my event ticket back in 23, I just called Disney itself
Yeah.
and just did the payment over the phone. But I had to call the USA line, so I had to do it. It was like my 12 o'clock at work,
Yeah.
and it was like their morning. So I just did it the first thing so that I wasn't sitting in a queue waiting for people to answer the phone. But yeah, those
It's
are our
definitely
trips.
easier with it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely easier with a VPN.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I use a VPN for everything when it comes to anything to do with the USA. Even if I'm buying something and I'm
Yeah.
sending it somewhere, 100% use a VPN. So much easier. And you can do the same with Disney's tickets. If you
Yeah.
want to do a 1-day ticket or a 2-day, you can do the same by, you won't find the website if you do it without the VPN, but you definitely can find, once you've logged into the VPN, you can definitely find the website, and it will take you to the bit where you can get 1-day ticket or 2-day, and then it will show you like the parks and how much they cost for each of those days. So there are ways around it. There are ways to make your trip a lot cheaper.
Top tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads us nicely into our trivia question of the week. So following on from our kind of theme from previous, this is a Universal based question. So which Universal Orlando ride was the first roller coaster in the world to feature a 90-degree drop?
Oh,
Yeah. So if anybody knows the answer to that, wants to drop it into our socials, and we'll obviously let you know the answer to that next week.
lovely.
And then following on from that, we have our Would You Rather, and this is our Orlando edition. So our next episode, so episode 3, is going to be based on tips and tricks from anybody planning a first-time Orlando trip from the UK, and it'll be a what nobody tells you about that. So before that, our Would You Rather question is: would you rather survive a 9-hour flight delay or arrive in Orlando with no suitcases?
Oh, God.
Both of which feel like hell.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has watched my travel day vlog,
I might have been slightly influenced by that.
yeah, there was a little mishaps we had with one of our suitcases. If you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it, because you would have seen my anger and how much I ranted in that video. But yeah, I don't think, I think I'd rather do the night. Was it a 9-hour delay?
9-hour flight delay, yeah.
Yeah.
Or arrive with no suitcase.
Yeah, I need my suitcases, so give me the 9-hour delay.
Yeah, I think marginally I am with you there. The thought of
Yeah.
going and having no suitcases at the end is a nightmare, particularly after the planning that you put into packing.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're packing your Disney outfits and your Disney
Oh, God.
bounds and
Yeah.
the bags, the accessories. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I can also imagine my credit card company with the thought of having to go and buy a whole 2 weeks worth of wardrobe
Yeah.
in Orlando. I don't think they would like it much either. So
No, they probably end up calling you, excuse me, I've seen all of these purchases. Are they
like
yours?
you may have had some kind of stolen credit card.
Like, no, it's me. They lost my suitcase.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and we got like some feedback on that from everybody else as well. So yeah, let us know what your preference would be in that situation.
Yeah. So that is the end of our second episode. If you have followed along this far, then thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to answer the questions. Don't forget to like, because it really truly does help us out. Don't forget to add our individual socials and our socials to see when the next series or episode, should I say, is coming out. But on that note, thank you and goodbye.
See you next time.
Thank you all so much for watching.
We hope you had a magical time.
See you next time on T&M Magic Hour.